20 never-before-seen dashcam videos are coming up, along with the results of our VIOFO dashcam giveaway. Keep watching to find out if you're the lucky winner. Sean was cruising through a green light when a Ford driver ran their red light in front of his GMC Sierra. Sean tried to swerve around the sedan, but he wasn't able to avoid a collision. He said he remembers seeing the ground approaching as he realized his truck was starting to roll. Witnesses later informed him his pickup rolled 3 or 4 times before it came to a stop almost 50 feet from the intersection. It came within 15 feet of a power pole before finally stopping in someone's driveway. He also said his phone was ejected through the windshield, but the case somehow protected it from any damage. Thankfully, witnesses called 911 to summon police and paramedics to the scene. Incredibly, Sean had no serious injuries from the collision, and the driver of the Ford refused any medical attention. His truck, on the other hand, was totaled by the Ford driver's insurance provider. Akshan had just completed a pizza delivery in his Lexus ES350 and was headed back to the restaurant, carefully obeying the speed limit as his speed is tracked while he's driving for work. The driver of a Nissan Sentra was unsatisfied with his pace and took the opportunity to pass him at high speed. But they overestimated their car's handling when they tried to make a sharp right turn from the left lane. Akshan immediately pulled over to assist the driver of the Nissan Sentra, which was now partially underwater in the ditch. A couple of Good Samaritans who also stopped used their SUV to pull the car out with tow straps. Once the Nissan was out of the ditch, Akshan says the driver picked up their pizza order from the same restaurant he works for and left. That's one expensive pizza. The submitter watched a minivan driver illegally double park, completely blocking the only lane going his direction. But he wasn't the only one who noticed the inconsiderate traffic disruption. One of Chicago's finest spotted the scofflaw while about to drive by, and he honked to get her attention before instructing her to move her vehicle somewhere else. Our submitter told us he and his passengers were overjoyed. It was 1:30 in the morning when Kaylin found out why driving while sleep-deprived is never a good idea. By the time Kaylin woke up and realized what was happening, it was too late for her to do anything to avoid going into the ditch. The high-speed impact caused her Kia Forte to launch airborne while flipping upside down. Her cell phone automatically summoned first responders to the scene as the few other drivers on the road continued on without stopping, evidently not noticing the fresh wreckage. Eventually, a group of teenagers stopped to help her, and she was able to call her parents to come get her. Sadly, her Kia was totaled. Kaylin had this message for our viewers. If you're sleepy, pull over and call someone to come get you. Even if waking them up makes them upset, it's better than trying to fight your urge to sleep and losing. Nate was on his way to his first day of college classes when a motorcycle sped past him at well over the speed limit. Check out what happened when an oncoming Georgia State trooper spotted the speeding biker. The trooper wasted no time making a U-turn before taking off after the biker, lighting up the party lights as soon as he was behind the motorcycle. Nate told us he had a good laugh while watching instant justice get dished out. Nate left us with 2 pieces of advice: don't speed, and don't test the Georgia State Patrol. They'll do anything to get you, even if they have to cross a grassy median. Joseph was on his way to work when the driver of a Toyota Highlander started merging into his lane without checking their blind spot. Joseph was forced to slam on his brakes to avoid being sandwiched between the SUV and the median barrier. Thankfully, he was able to continue on his way to work with nothing more than an elevated heart rate. Graydon was on his way to get some coffee on the first day of a new insurance policy, when another driver suddenly made a sharp and unexpected turn across Graydon's path. The other driver contacted the inner curb of the roundabout before overcorrecting to the right and slamming on the brakes, sliding to an abrupt halt directly in front of Graydon's Toyota Tundra. When Graydon spoke with the other driver, he asked Graydon not to involve the police, which is always a good reason to involve the police. He even tried to convince Graydon to leave, but he wisely refused and called the cops. Police found the other driver fully responsible. Graydon's steel bumper prevented his pickup truck from being totaled, and repairing the damage ended up costing $2,000 US. The Toyota Camry was left with a hole in the passenger door. Graydon told us he's been watching Wham Bam Dashcam videos for 4 years, and they inspired him to buy a Dashcam. Alex and his wife Snowy were on their way to get some breakfast when they spotted an oncoming driver who wanted to illegally cross double yellow lines to turn into a driveway on their side of the road. Being avid Wham Bam fans, Alex and Snowy know they should always close the gap. So Alex pulled forward instead of leaving an opening that would create a dangerous condition for other drivers. This action was not popular with the other driver, and both refused to budge. Eventually, the traffic light ahead turned green, and Alex and Snowy continued and had a delicious breakfast of omelets, pancakes, and ice cream. We noticed that Alex and Snowy are using a VIOFO Dashcam, and that means it's time to announce the winner of our Dashcam giveaway. The lucky Wham Bam fan is Mats88. Congratulations! If you didn't win, don't worry. VIOFO's fall sale is happening now. You can pick up one of 8 discounted models for up to 38% off. That means the best dashcams in the world are now available at the deepest discounts you'll find anywhere. From the top-of-the-line A329S to the budget-friendly A119 Mini 2, there's something for everyone. Did you know our team used VIOFO dashcams in our own cars for years before they became a Wham Bam sponsor? In fact, VIOFO supports our channels because we reached out to them. That's how much we believe in the quality of their products, and it's why they're the exclusive dashcam sponsor of Wham Bam Dashcam. This huge sale is only happening October 7th and 8th, and these deals are not going to come around again. Peace of mind has never been so affordable, so don't wait. Grab a VIOFO dashcam for your ride today. Thanks to VIOFO for their support, and with that, let's get back to the episode. Josh had just left the interstate when a truck driver suddenly pulled across the wet road in front of him. Josh tried to stop, but his Jeep Wrangler slid on the wet road surface before colliding with the side of the truck's tanker trailer. The impact then spun his Jeep around to face the opposite direction. Josh called 911, and first responders arrived quickly due to the nature of the collision. When Josh made an insurance claim, the trucker's insurance provider denied liability, leaving him with no choice but to sue the driver in court. At first, the trucker claimed that Josh had been approaching a red light, as if that would matter, but the dashcam footage proves that his light was green. When confronted about this, he then said the road had been clear both ways. Well, Josh's video disproves that statement too. In fact, the trucker had cut off multiple drivers coming the other way, in addition to Josh. After 2 years of litigation, an out-of-court settlement was finally reached. Jeffrey was driving his Ford F-150 down an Illinois highway at 60 miles per hour when he was suddenly face-to-face with an oncoming Honda. Jeffrey was able to move to the shoulder to let the reckless driver, who was passing in a marked no passing zone, drive past him. He told us he kept driving after making sure his pants were still dry. This submitter was driving his Prius when the pickup truck ahead of him came to a stop. As he pulled up behind it, the driver suddenly began reversing without any warning. The pickup driver must have been trying to parallel park, but he never used his turn signal and ignored our submitter's horn before ramming his Prius. After spending 3 weeks in a body shop, the insurance company totaled it. This submitter was minding his own business while driving down a California highway when he encountered this week's Tesla behaving badly.
That Tesla man can't drive. That Tesla man can't drive.
Yeah, that behavior definitely earns the rubber stamp. Thankfully, the reckless driver didn't cause any collisions, but it's only a matter of time. This submitter was proceeding through a green light when he watched another driver run their red light before T-boning an oncoming car. Our submitter pulled over to wait for the police, then provided the responding officer with a copy of his dashcam video. Thankfully, it doesn't look like anyone involved in the collision was seriously injured. Carl watched a driver ahead of him slam on the brakes for another vehicle merging in front of them, but their heavy braking caused them to lose control and crash into the median cable barrier. Carl noted that the driver's side of the Chevy Impala looked pretty torn up, but that didn't seem to bother the driver as they took off at high speed after the collision. Josh watched the driver ahead of him change lanes before slamming into a Tesla Model Y that had just stopped for heavy traffic.
You've been Honda bumped. Honda bumped.
Stopped Tesla? Check. Rear-ended by a Honda? Check. That makes this a confirmed Honda bump, the first one we've featured on this channel in a long time. Josh told us he continued on, assuming the Tesla driver would have footage of the collision, but don't be so sure, Josh. You'd be surprised how many Tesla owners haven't set up their Tesla cam to record. In fact, so many Teslas are driving around without Tesla cam or Sentry mode set up, we put together a special video on Wham Bam Tesla Cam just to help people out. We'll link to it at the end of this episode. Gabriel was on his way home from church when he watched a driver fly past him well over the speed limit, but he didn't have to wait long to see justice get served. A police Dodge Charger with party lights active took off in pursuit of the speeder, and Gabriel continued as the cop exited the highway en route to deliver a helping of instant justice. You love to see it. Travis sent us this footage of his friend hitting a pothole while driving his Hyundai Elantra. Travis's friend pulled off the road to discover one of his wheels was badly damaged after he slammed into the pothole at over 40 miles per hour. He said his friend hadn't been paying attention when he hit the pothole just off the road. Fred was driving past a semi-truck when the driver suddenly dismounted, right in front of Fred's Ford Focus. Fred swerved and braked, and his quick reaction prevented a collision. He told us it took him a minute to calm down while the truck driver probably had to change his pants. Daniel was driving his Ford Focus when the driver of another Ford Focus dove across his lane to exit the roundabout. Daniel had no opportunity to avoid the sideswipe collision. Both drivers stopped, but Daniel said the other driver didn't want to provide his insurance information. He had to go to the police to find out who the other driver was. In the meantime, his own insurance provider is repairing the damage. Daniel told us that they'll go after the other driver once the police provide them with his identity. Diego witnessed some instant justice of a different sort when an officer in a pickup truck spotted deer being deer. With the deer out of the road, both Diego and the officer continued. Don't forget to check out our latest mega episode featuring over 2 hours of dashcam chaos. Or if you're one of those Tesla owners who hasn't set up their Tesla cam, go watch our how-to video here. Remember to subscribe, and we'll see you with more videos next week.
Wham, bam, we got a Patreon, man. Please support the show.